Okay, hi. This is a weirder video considering like what I've been uploading here lately, which I hope that what I've been uploading has been somewhat enjoyable. I've trying something new. Um, I've been streaming a lot. Shameless plug, because we're gonna try to promote everything I can in this real quick because this video I feel like is gonna be a bit of a handful. So I might as well get everything that I want to get out like in terms of like shameless plugs early. I've got a TikTok. I've got a Twitch. I've been streaming daily on there. Whenever Spider-Man 2 comes out, I'm going to be streaming that. Uh the plan is a 24-hour stream right now. I'm kind of like fully committed into that, but I don't know how well that's going to go, and I need to stock up on like Red Bull and like Adderall or something. That's going to be its own thing. But I've also got a Twitter that I post to whenever I stream. It's literally just that right now. I don't really care for Twitter. The whole platform of Twitter like confuses and annoys me because there's so much just random politics and bullshit on there. So I've got that if you want to follow that and be updated on whenever I go live. Um, but yeah, we're gonna be talking about COD 2023 Modern Warfare 3 right now because that is a huge subject of debate, especially amongst the zombies community. Right now, the multiplayer community seems pretty happy. What they've done with it looks, and even from like what I've seen, I haven't pre-ordered it yet because I wasn't even planning on getting it this year, and then they said they were gonna do zombies, and then now I'm like a rock in a hard place right now, where I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it because it's gonna have zombies. But from everything that we've seen so far, I'm like an OG player. I don't know why I do air quotes because like obviously I'm young. I'm 19 years old. So I'm as old as the COD franchise. I believe the first one came out in 2003. That's the year I was born. Um so for me to say that like I'm an OG player is like seems like, oh no you're not. You were in diapers when World at War came out. I was 5 years old. I played the World at War campaign. I was one of you fuckers that beat the campaign and was like, what is this? Where am I? I didn't get super into it until I'd say around 2010 though. To be 100% honest, it was around the time Black Ops 1 came out. So 2008, I think that's whenever I really got into zombies because I remember playing Moon, not really liking that. I remember playing Ascension, hating that. Shangri-La, I had zero clue what was going on. But then Kino really liked, and all the remastered maps from World at War, I found a new appreciation for those. And then going back to World at War playing those. Either way, that's not the point. Point is, I come from a stance of growing up with this game and seeing it evolve and adapt and the good and the bad, and I've been here for all of it. And as of right now, besides Infinite Warfare, this has been the only Call of Duty game that I have not the second the digital deluxe super like baby dumb edition whatever comes out, it doesn't just have my money. You know, I did it with Black Ops 3, I did it with World War 2, I did it with what was the game after that? Yeah, Black Ops 4. I did it with Modern Warfare 2019. I did it with Cold War, and then I did it with Vanguard. And this is going to be the first game that I have not instantly done that. I even did that with Modern Warfare 2, but only because at the time the multiplayer looked okay. And then the beta came out, and I was like, it feels kind of weird. Some of the weapon attachments are kind of annoying. Some of the perks are a little iffy for me, but it's a multiplayer experience. It is what it is. I didn't buy it like to enjoy it. I bought it because I thought my brothers were going to be playing it, and they do. But I'm so caught up in other stuff. I don't ever have time. Regardless, though, I'm rambling. I apologize. I I believe that, and it's probably going to be the title of the video. I believe Modern Warfare 3 Zombies could be the saving grace for the zombies mode itself. You know, and I know what you're thinking. I'm not an Outbreak fan. I am not. I am not a DMZ fan. I never played it. I don't even know what it looks like. You could show me like 10 minutes of gameplay from DMZ. I could not tell you if it's Warzone. I could not tell you if it's some other side mode. Literally no clue. Right? I am hardcore. I love the round based. I'm super into what we've been doing. If you watch my channel, I've vocalized my opinions on Outbreak and round based and this and that. But there's a handful of good that I think that can come from this. and I've got a list, just a little notepad pulled up of all the good and all the bad, and there is more bad than good, but at the same time, the good can be really, really good. The bad is like it sucks, but I think in terms of what can be done with this game and this mode, you know, and what Modern Warfare 3 can help kind of push, it can really honestly save the zombies mode, because I feel like the reason we've been getting kind of shafted in the zombies community for the past couple years is because Activision is losing hope in it. After pretty much Black Ops 4, where Black Ops 4 had a really big budget, and then it came out and they had so many like bug issues, and then they just changed too many things like to the core, where it just didn't make sense. There's no jug, there's no double tap, there's no speed cola. All those mechanics are just thrown out the window for no reason. You know, um, it was really bizarre, but that's kind of besides the point. You know, um, what I'm trying to get at here though, and I'm trying to word it right. I believe that if Modern Warfare 3 Zombies does good, it'll do a lot of it really well. And for starters, the main thing that it's going to do is it's going to bring in a lot of new players. Outbreak did exactly that, because I can personally say from experience, whenever you start Zombies and you get into it, it's super daunting. The round based mode, because obviously whenever you see that round number and you see it go up and up and up. Your only strive is to get better and to keep on pushing forward through the rounds. But if you're a brand new player and you don't really know what you're doing, has like seeing that not gradually increase the more and more you play really sucks. I think that's what really turned me off my first couple of times playing zombies. The fact that it was only like, oh, I got to round 5 that time. I got to round 6. I got to round 7, And then just getting stuck on like the first 10 rounds and then never going past that. It kind of really sucked. And I didn't have a lot of interest in it at the very start. And I think that's what a lot of people run into. Whenever they don't understand the mechanics, they don't understand what makes it work, what makes it tick. So then they kind of just don't care to give it a shot. There's a handful of games that I'm really bad about, where if it's a story game or whatever, like God of War, for instance, God of War Ragnarok, great game, one game of the year. Everyone says it's amazing, but I can't just like throw myself into it and instantly grasp the cons, like the combat, the story and everything. So I haven't really given it a shot because I don't understand it. I need to sometime. I know that game's great, but I just haven't given it a fair chance because I don't understand it. And that's kind of how this mode is. And Outbreak kind of took out a lot of those random elements of like you have to set up your pack a punch, you have to turn on your power, you have to do this and that and that and this, do all these weird Easter egg steps. And it's like, okay, all your resources are on your map. Go find your resources, do your objectives that are kind of like Easter egg steps. They're not exactly. You just do a certain task, and then you get points. You get your shit done, and then you can buy your perks. It really dumbed down the formula, and not to say that like everyone that likes Outbreak is dumb, because that's not the case. It simplified everything to make it not so daunting. I bring uh I I I bring some of my older brothers or whatever into like Black Ops 4, Black Ops 3 and try to get them into that. And they grew up on Black Ops 1 and World at War. They have zero clue what's going on in those like newer games, because they're used to just turn on your power, link a teleporter, and then pack a punch. And then we're like Black Ops 4, in order to get your pack a punch turned on in 9, you have to do 4 rituals and then put the heads that you get from doing the rituals on spikes, and then boom, there's your pack a punch. It's not super convoluted, but whenever people are used to just hit a power switch and then like link teleporters, that's a lot simpler than that, you know? So it's gonna help bring in people that don't know what the mode is really, don't understand it, into an area that is a lot more friendly for people to pick it up and understand the fundamentals of it. I think it having perks, it having pack a punch, it having like weapon upgrades, stuff like that. The usual equipment, the wonder weapons. I think that's a great base for people to like get their hands on and start like enjoying and understanding what zombies is. I I think which is kind of a stretch here. I think the objectives in it are hopefully going to be a good like pushing point for like ideas for Easter egg steps in the future. Which obviously it's kind of weird to talk about like them wanting to push Easter eggs forward. When in all fairness, I think Easter eggs are one of the things that has been killing zombies. The fact that some of the maps have been so Easter egg focused, and or like some of them have been way too difficult because they just want to make them difficult for difficult sake, and some of them are way too easy because they want to kinder to the audience that can't really like look up a cipher or even begin to understand where to start. I think there's a perfect middle ground, and we had that middle ground in some of the Black Ops 3 days. Maybe not so much Guard Crovey esque, but like kind of what they were doing with Zetsu Monoshima, and then a lot of what they were doing with uh like Shadows, pretty much. Where a lot of your Easter egg kind of just comes from gameplay, you know? Where you could do a lot of your Easter egg just casually playing the map. Same thing with Dryzendrach, but even then, some of the stuff with the teleporter and whatnot is a little like finicky. But I think that's where our middle ground was. Either way, I think a lot of the objectives that are going to be coming into um, Modern Warfare 3, like zombies, their zombies mode, can push like cool new objectives to do in Easter eggs. Stuff like that can actually be really fascinating to see. Something else I'm also looking forward to is this is the closest we're getting to having a true zombies experience on the Modern Warfare engine, which there's a bug, is super exciting, but also like it's half the Modern Warfare engine because right now everyone's got their hands in this honeypot of what this game is. Treyarch's working on it, Sledgehammer's working on it, uh, Infinity Ward is working on it. So although I'm pretty sure it is still like for the most part on that Modern Warfare 2 engine, which felt kind of smooth, and they've done a lot to the movement and stuff like that. It's still got a lot going on in it, so I'm not sure how true to a Modern Warfare engine it's gonna feel like. Um, I can't say for sure. I haven't played it myself yet, so I don't know how exactly it feels. But as of right now, it looks like it will be the closest thing we're gonna get to a zombies on a true Modern Warfare engine, which is pretty damn exciting. And finally, for my list of goods here, I kind of just rapid fired through them. I'm not like trying to point out anyone in particular, but like I was saying earlier, this if this mode does well, and I think it is our job as a community, as the zombies community, to give this game a shot, whether or not you're like super into round based and it's round based or die. Like if you don't get it, then you're never gonna play zombies again. I think if everyone were to give this game a shot and look at it for what it can provide, this will legitimately bring Activision's hope back into zombies. Because it seems like they're only using it for like almost like a cameo reference, where obviously like if you've seen Multiverse of Madness, like the new Doctor Strange movie, when they bring in like all these fucking side characters like Reed Richards and Captain Carter. Pretty much the only reason those characters were in those movie like in that movie was so we as an audience could go, oh, we know that guy. I know him. That's it. And that pretty much feels like that's all zombies is anymore. The only reason it felt like it was in Vanguard was so us zombies fans can throw our 60, 80, $100 at it and eat up our pile of dog shit and then be like, thank you. That was scrumptious. And it's not. It feels like they're only funding a zombies team at this point just because this 5, 10, whatever percent of a community that we are buy it. And I know there's a lot of zombies community that is still super into the multiplayer, still super into the campaign, whatever. I'm not one of those people. Whenever I see a new COD game come out, if I don't see zombies in it, I'm not sure if I'm going to buy this. I didn't plan on buying Modern Warfare 2, and then my brother said he was going to get it, so I was like, I might as well get it. And then the new Warzone is going to be on that anyway, so I might as well, especially if I want to start upgrading weapons for Warzone 2. And then now, I don't know why I have it. I tried to refund it, but I can't because I already have my like 2.5 hours played in it. You know, it is what it is. And then same thing with Modern Warfare 3, where I wasn't going to get it. The second they announced we're doing a standalone game this year, it's going to be Modern Warfare 3, I said, I'm not getting it. It's only going to be multiplayer, campaign, whatever. I don't have any interest. And then they threw zombies in. So now me as a zombies fan, I feel obligated to get this pile of junk, which okay, everything went black for a second, which really sucks. But at the same time, like, what are we gonna do about it? So I'm going into this trying to be as positive as I can, which is ironic because I'm about to go into my list of bad things. But I think the bad is only what is going to be bad about this game. And I think whenever we get the next Call of Duty game, whenever we get Treyarch's next game, it's going to start bringing back like a lot of the core mechanics. From what I've seen in like rumors and leaks right now, apparently they are like there's a small team working on a round-based experience which is going to be hopefully decent, but I'm not going to get my hopes up in terms of if we're actually going to get that because I would so much rather them just give us this, give us updates on this, and then send that zombies team over to COD 2024 to work on that mode because that's all I want. I genuinely want this next zombies experience aside from 2023 because I think there's going to be like definitely a split in the community between how everyone feels about this upcoming game. I think 2024 is going to make or break a lot of it for people. Where if it doesn't really hit home, if it doesn't really hit a lot of those points that we've been waiting for, like those staples that we've been just begging to just be in the game, if it doesn't hit a lot of that, then I'm really afraid that the community is going to fizzle out and just completely die off. And that I don't even want to get on that because that actually makes me really upset. A lot more upset than I would genuinely like to admit. But regardless, we're gonna go into our bad list because I and again a lot of it is kind of just like we know it's coming, and we know as like if you're my if you're the kind of fan that I am, you need you need round based. You need round based. Round based is where it's at. The objective thing, I'm not a huge fan of. One of my favorite things is to just hop on and go to around 50, 60, 70, even if I don't make it to those rounds. Like just see how as far as I can go if I'm just casually playing. Half the time what I'll do, I won't get quick revive. I'll just go in, play until I die, and then that's it. And I'm like, okay, well, cool. I got it. I got to around 30 that time. I only got to around like 18 that time because I did something stupid. I got to around 50 that time. Like that is what's fun for me. And you kind of take that away with your objective based modes. You know. And another thing with the objective based thing is I did a video on it with Outbreak. It feels like killing zombies isn't the necessity in your objective based modes, which really is weird. It's almost like a slap in the face to the zombies community, considering it's the whole point has been kill zombies, progress, kill zombies. And now again, I did a video on Outbreak where I went as far as I could without killing a single zombie. I got to around like 4 or 5, which technically isn't super far, but considering like getting to 4 or 5 in Outbreak can take like an hour ish, an hour and a half, and I did that without killing a single zombie, that's insulting. That's outright bad. The fact that you can even make progress in a zombies mode without killing a single zombie, that's embarrassing. You know, just like downright. Like that doesn't make sense. It'd be the equivalent of if Spider-Man 2 comes out and you're not web swinging and you're just like walking through the city and there's crimes and then you pull up your phone, you call the police and you're like, "Yeah, there's these bad guys on this street. Can you come take care of them for me?" That'd be the equivalent of that in my mind. Like the whole point is to be killing zombies. And the fact that a lot of the objective stuff feels like you don't need to is laughable, and it doesn't look like they're doing that. It feels like there is a legitimate incentive to kill zombies, whether or not to progress your objective or to get perks or this or that. But they genuinely need to like make it where the zombies aren't a side thought. They're not an afterthought. They're not, oh well, you can kill them, or you could just go escort this thing away and throw like a decoy that direction and just ignore them entirely. That's not what we need. I do think another huge downside is a 60-minute playtime. I'm not sure what was the decision on this, whether or not it be like an asset thing or what, but 60-minute playtime is kind of confusing. I've had a really hard time wrapping my head around, well, why? Why would they choose a 60-minute playtime? Why would they mitigate a zombies experience to that? And I think it's mainly because of the size of the map and the player count, mainly because of the fact that you run into an asset issue after a certain point where it starts building up so many assets, and then eventually that's what was crashing people's like World at War games when they were going to high rounds, because you're technically on a time limit. You know, I've you could watch videos and look it up, but playing like some of those old uh Call of Duty games, and really technically any Call of Duty game, once you play like a certain like zombies or whatever for so long, you're technically on a timer because so many assets and so many things will build up that after a while the game cannot handle it. You will crash and it will reset your game. You know, I'm kind of wondering if maybe this is that, just in like a simplified version. Like maybe they're worried that if it's beyond a 60-minute, there's gonna be too many people on the map, too many assets, too many whatever this and that going on, that you can't really like actually do anything with it. So might as well just make it a 60-minute experience and then you have to exfil. But I'm not sure. And that also brings in another point that is kind of bad in my mind, but I also think could be really cool for a lot of people. Being on the Warzone map is a little weird. I've never been a super huge fan of the big maps. You know, like I like Origins, I like Guard Crovey, but a lot of them still feel like they have a flow to it. You know, but once you start getting into like the Outbreak level of big maps, it kind of feels really off. Like why? I hate looking around for my zombies. I miss whenever there were spawn locations, and if you were in this area, they would just constantly spawn around you. That's what I personally like. I I I don't know how I feel about it. I can't exactly put my thoughts like in the right words on the Warzone map thing, but I do think that it's going to be good for some people and then really bad for others. For me personally, I'm in between. I think it's going to be kind of cool, but then also I'm not a huge fan of the bigger maps. I do miss those smaller localized maps, even if it is still like a 60-minute, you've only got like maybe one squad or whatever. Like if that's what they do with their round based, I'd be entirely fine with that. You know, I just don't know how I feel about it being on this big of a map. Right now I'm really torn. We'll see whenever it comes out. I'll play it, I'll stream it, whatever. You guys will see my reaction whenever it comes out. I'm gonna try to be as positive as I can, but I'm not sure. One thing I will say too is solos is probably gonna be terrible. They've outright said that going in solo will genuinely be pretty difficult. So I don't know how I feel about that because I don't have a lot of friends that still play zombies. So for the most part, I'm a solo zombies player, you know? And the fact that my experience is going to be a lot more miserable just because I don't have a group of friends to play with, which obviously sounds super sad and depressing, and it's like we'll just make friends. It's like that shouldn't be my issue, you know? For so many years now, it has not been a requirement at all for me to have to like pull in people to play like zombies with me. It's been super enjoyable the fact that I have a game that I can hop on and I can just chill and play by myself. It zombies has been that for me. I used to have a large friend group that played zombies, and then over the years, it's just like, well, I like it solo. Solo is really fun. It's really challenging. I feel like half the time when I'm playing co-op, all I'm doing is reviving people anyway. You know, but either way, that's besides the point. But the biggest complaint there is the fact that they have outright said solos will be difficult. So it seems like it is going to be pretty much physically impossible for you to hop in by yourself and like thoroughly enjoy it without having to group up with randoms or like scramble together like three, four, five of your friends to play it. I think that is very frustrating in my mind. And then last thing I'm gonna go over in my bad list, which I've kind of already addressed a little bit. If if this is bad, like if this is laughably bad, COD 2024 will probably be the last chance for Call of Duty Zombies. And I don't want to talk about it too much because it genuinely makes me upset thinking that like if we have like one more bad year of zombies, then we could just be on like lines of string essentially, just like tiptoeing, praying to get through it. Cuz I don't believe that what they're going to do with Treyarch's next zombies is going to be bad. I don't want to believe that. I absolutely, in no way, shape, or form, want to think that they're going to degress any further than what we've been doing the past couple years. But there's that chance that with Modern Warfare 3, if it does really bad, then Activision will kind of give up and start pulling more people. And then next COD will be on more of a budget constraint and more on a time constraint. So I'm I'm really not super hopeful for what they're gonna be doing in terms of like how will this decide the zombies community's future. And it's super upsetting, like genuinely upsetting to think about. because I've been with this game since it came out. Or I've been with this mode since it came out. It started off as just a passion project. Everyone's heard the stories. It was literally just like, hey, we're working on this side mode because it was kind of goofy. Whenever we lit people on fire in the game, it looked like zombies. So now we made this kind of round based like shooter defense thing. And originally it wasn't even supposed to be released. And then they were like, okay, fine, it's fun, release it, but don't advertise it at all. To the point where they they patched it to be on the main screen, and then with each DLC they were like, well, we now have to make a new zombies experience with each DLC, and then now it's a borderline staple for Treyarch games. And then we're hitting a point where it could all potentially be over. And that's not even me saying like there's 100% chance that after COD 2024, if Zombies does bad, Activision is going to completely cut the team. I'm more meaning the Zombies community because I've seen a lot of like the Zombies like content creators start dying down a little bit and start kind of giving up on the mode, you know, and that really sucks. I think even Mr. T Lexify, I think even he posted a video basically saying the same exact thing. I haven't watched his channel in a minute. Shame on me, but I'm pretty sure he posted a video saying the same exact thing, that if this next game isn't it, he's going to be quitting zombies. I don't know if I'd go that far because at the end of the day, I'm always going to be a sucker for it. I've literally got a jug tattoo. I show this thing off every time I get a chance to. Like as long as they keep on producing it and making it, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to be a sucker, and I'm going to hate myself for it every time I buy one of these bad games. But like there's genuinely a lot riding on the next two games coming out, and it very well could cement the zombies community's fate, and it could settle a lot of it. And I know that's a really sour note to kind of end this on, but again, we're going to go into Modern Warfare 3 with a positive look. Whether or not we like what they're doing with it, whether or not we don't like the DMZ thing or whatever, we're gonna be positive for the sake of zombies. That's the way I'm looking at this. We're gonna be positive simply because we want it to do good, because we want them to keep loving zombies, and we want Activision to see that zombies is more than. I'm not sure if you heard that or not. We need them to see that zombies is more than just like a cameo reference, more than a oh look at that, I'll buy that. That I'm here fully for zombies. I'm going to play it. I'm gonna be as positive as I can. I'm pretty much gonna act like a sponsored deal, even though Activision would never sponsor me in a million years. I'm gonna go in as positive as I can because I genuinely believe that if we give this game a chance, then it'll hopefully benefit. Hopefully they'll see that zombies is a worthwhile mode. Anyway, I'm done rambling. It's almost been half an hour. This is a longer video, but I really wanted to address all my thoughts, all my opinions. Um, Again, I've got a Twitch, I've got a Twitter, I've got a TikTok. All that is linked in the description, or you could go look at my channel page. Subscribe if you're new, like if you enjoyed, dislike if you think that everything I thought was dumb and stupid. Comment and let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what your thoughts on like the zombies community and what you're looking forward to. I genuinely want people's opinions, on what is going on with this community, what is going on with these games. Because I feel like I'm alone most of the time, but I mean, what do I know? Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. You guys have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.